to make such provision for the good government and discipline of the college as he or she shall think fit. Given the complexities of our world today and the place of higher education within it, let alone the not exactly pellucid nature of Cambridge and its colleges, this is clearly a huge undertaking, something for a star to take on. The statute's specification is gracefully, or perhaps wisely, vague, but it is clear that on the omni-responsible and all-encompassing nature of the role. As I discovered in more detail than I care to relive anytime soon, college takes the task of searching for such a person very seriously indeed. The process from advertisement to election took well over 6 months, and the selection stages were almost as testing for the fellowship as for the candidates. The position attracted 42 candidates from 10 countries around the world. The process of narrowing the field was, to say the least, lengthy. Indeed, so many meetings were set into the calendar that we decided to introduce an innovation: short online interviews for the long-listed candidates, 15 minutes, 4 questions. It was a revealing exercise, if not without its technological hiccups. But it was clear at one of those short online interviews last November that we might have found our master. After Catherine's interview, one of the fellows on the panel, who is here today, turned to the rest of us and exclaimed, "When can she start?" And what's more, we noticed that we were all beaming with smiles. And the rest, as they say, is history. Catherine was resoundingly elected on the 30th of January this year. We were all impressed by Catherine's clarity, candour, charisma, and infectious warmth. Catherine Arnold joined St Edmund's College as its 15th master after a distinguished international career at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Until 2018, she was Her Majesty's Ambassador in Mongolia. In that role, she dramatically increased UK philanthropic interests as well as championing UK education and values in Mongolia. Her many earlier roles in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office included a responsibility for increasing philanthropic investment in the UK, leading the Emerging Powers team, leading civilian communications, including through several crises, for the UK in Kabul and Baghdad, and working on internal politics and human rights in Tehran, as well as roles in London focused on preventing terrorism and on political crises. Most recently, Catherine led the UK's successful bid to secure the nomination to host the COP26 climate conference in 2020, and prior to that, she led the Foreign and Commonwealth Office's illegal office. She was awarded the OBE in the New Year's Honours List of
but 40 in 1970, 90 in 1980, 250 in 2000, and 491 in 2010. We stand today as a community of just under 600 students. Now, I'm certainly not suggesting we continue to double every decade. If we did, by 2030, we'd be larger than my former college, Trinity, and by 2050, nudging towards 50% of the current university numbers. But how exciting it is to have become a part of a community that has such dynamism and vision at its core. Perhaps it is this that enables the college to hold its nerve. Because while questions might stir occasionally about how we describe ourselves, to someone new, this community feels as if it has always known who it is. Maybe the challenge, now we have grown into an unavoidable presence in Cambridge, is how best to describe something that is, not how to choose which thing to become. What then is the most important part of this college? Well, what is striking about St Edmund's, whether in the three words I've chosen today about our openness, outwardness, and optimism, or others you might prefer, is our focus on people. We've grown and expanded to provide more people with more opportunities. We build, when we can find the money, that is, a perennial challenge for a college whose alumni were, until comparatively recently, few and overwhelmingly Catholic priests. We build because our people need somewhere to live, or somewhere to meet, or eat, or learn. Two quotes from people here today who first came to St Edmund's 50 years apart perhaps sum up what makes us, us. We each feel as if we're an intimate part of the story. And I don't know what it is or how it comes about, but warmth oozes out of the walls. I felt that warmth on my very first day when I was welcomed with a bowl of fruit, a smile, and a toddler, determined to carry something upstairs for me. This family had no idea I was to be our next master, at least, given my dishevelled state, having arrived after a long and laden journey, I rather hope they didn't. They just saw another person who needed a friendly hand. So where to end this beginning? Where better than with our namesake? Not that much detail has survived of the life of St Edmund of Abingdon, but I suspect he might have had a pretty shrewd idea how we each feel at the start of this new year and new chapter. He was no stranger to moving to new institutions and new countries. He was a student, a scholar, a mediator, and the treasurer of Salisbury Cathedral while it was being built. He will have known the daily and often unsung efforts of staff working tirelessly to run a complex institution and on a tight budget. The sometime loneliness of academic study and research, the moments of self-doubt. But he will also have known success and the vitality of a nurturing and inspiring intellectual community, a community committed to academic excellence, in which research, learning, and teaching flourish. St Edmund concluded his only surviving work with an injunction: within a community to live honourably, amicably, and humbly. It seems like pretty sound advice, even 800 years later. I look forward to working with you and for our college, here and in Cambridge and across the world. And let's help each other to, among other things, stay open, outward, and optimistic, and to keep that warmth oozing.
Invite you to stand for the blessing. through the intercession of St. Edmund, our patron, may God grant us clarity in our thoughts and charity in our hearts. May we serve him with the rigour of our minds and the labour of our hands, and so put to good use the gifts we have been given. May we be delivered from fear before new truth, complacency before half-truth, and pride that would claim all truth. May we seek only that which is good, excellent, admirable, honourable, and worthy of all praise, through and by the grace of him, the giver of all gifts, who lives and reigns for ever and ever. Amen.